Welcome to Amazing Animals. This channel was created to help educate you on many animals that live amongst us all over our beautiful planet. Today, you'll be learning about the amazing bats. Bats are some of the most intriguing creatures in the animal kingdom, often misunderstood and shrouded in mystery. They are mammals that belong to the order Chiroptera, a scientific name that means hand-wing in Greek. Bats are the only mammals capable of true flight. This unique ability, along with their nocturnal habits, makes them both fascinating and important members of our ecosystems. There are over 1,400 species of bats, making them the second largest order of mammals after rodents. These species are divided into two main suborders: Megachiroptera, larger fruit-eating bats, and Microchiroptera, smaller bats that feed on insects, small animals, or nectar. Megabats, also known as fruit bats or flying foxes, tend to have large eyes and rely on their vision and sense of smell to find food. Microbats, on the other hand, use a sophisticated navigation system called echolocation, which involves emitting high-frequency sounds that bounce back to help them locate objects, including prey in complete darkness. A group of bats is called a colony or a cauldron. The average bat lifespan is up to 30 years in the wild, but most bat species don't make it past 20 years. Being that they confront fewer threats in captivity, bats often live longer than they do in the wild. Bats may look like rodents with wings or birds with sharp teeth, but they are not related to mice or birds. Bats are normally about the size of a mouse, are covered in fur except their wings, and have large pointed ears. One of the most notable features of bats is their wing structure. A bat's wing is actually a modified hand, with very long fingers connected by a thin membrane of skin. This design gives bats extraordinary maneuverability in the air, allowing them to make sharp turns and hover when necessary. Bats have fur that varies in color from shades of brown, gray, or even white. Many species are small, with wingspans of just a few inches, while others can have very impressive wingspans. Bats have a good reason to hang upside down. Their wings aren't as strong as bird wings, so they aren't able to build up enough speed when taking off from the ground or a sitting position. Instead, they can enter into flight with no effort if they start from hanging upside down rather than from a perched position. Their knees face backwards, and they have special tendons that lock their toes in place, allowing them to hang freely while relaxed. So much so that a bat will continue hanging upside down even after they die. The biggest bats in the world are flying fox bats, like the gigantic Indian flying fox bat, sometimes called the golden-crowned flying fox bat. They are generally 7 to 11 inches long, but some can get to be 17 inches long and have a wingspan of 5 feet. They live in India, China, Bangladesh, and the Philippines, in a variety of habitats. They do not swoop down and snatch up children or attack people, but they can carry diseases. Bats are incredibly adaptable and can be found on almost every continent except Antarctica. They live in a wide variety of habitats, from forests and caves to deserts and urban areas. Bats are nocturnal and come out at night to fly around looking for food. During the day, bats seek shelter in roosts, such as caves, trees, and buildings. Some species even make their homes in hollowed-out trees or crevices in rocks. Many bats migrate or hibernate in colder months, depending on their species and location. The diet of bats is as diverse as their species. Many microbats are insectivores, which means they primarily eat insects. These bats play an important role in controlling insect populations, including agricultural pests like beetles and moths. By eating thousands of insects each night, they help reduce the need for pesticides, which benefits crops. On the other hand, megabats mostly eat fruit, nectar, or pollen. These fruit-eating bats are crucial for the pollination and seed dispersal of various plants, especially in tropical and subtropical regions. By moving seeds around as they eat and digest fruit, they help reforest areas and maintain biodiversity. Some bat species also consume small animals, fish, or even other bats. The majority of male bats will mate with many females. Baby bats are called pups. Females in most bat species carry and give birth to a single pup in each litter. The mother provides the majority of care for a baby bat. Once they reach adulthood, bats primarily spend their days sleeping and will wake up at night to hunt for food. Bats have very few natural predators. Scientists have concluded that this is because they are both nocturnal creatures and can fly. Since they are only awake at night, this lessens their availability to prey, and their flying also allows them to escape prey as well. In fact, for most bats, their most serious risk is coming down with an illness. Bats are eaten by owls, hawks, and snakes, but this pales in comparison to the millions of bats killed by white nose disease. This fungal infection affects hibernating bats, causing them to wake up during hibernation and use up their energy reserves, often leading to starvation. Pesticide use also poses a significant risk to insect-eating bats by contaminating their food sources. Bats are often unfairly associated with darkness, fear, and disease. Many myths and misconceptions surround bats, partly due to their nocturnal nature and unique appearance along with their depictions in movies and television. Add an element of mystery, suspense, or fear about them. They are frequently associated with dark, foreboding atmospheres, fluttering out of caves, abandoned buildings, or forests to create a spooky mood. Classic vampire stories, especially Dracula adaptations, commonly feature bats as symbolic or even literal representations of vampires, reinforcing their connection to the supernatural. Batman, a well-known superhero character, uses bats as his symbol, harnessing their image to invoke fear in criminals. Bats also appear in animated shows, usually portrayed as cute or quirky creatures, which has helped soften their eerie reputation for younger audiences. Whether shown as creepy or fascinating, bats in media have played a central role in shaping public perception, often blending mystery with an appreciation for their unique nature. Some people mistakenly believe that all bats carry rabies or are pests, which leads to unnecessary fear and even harm to bat populations. In reality, only a small percentage of bats carry rabies, and they rarely pose a threat to humans, although it's best to stay away from them as much as possible and seek medical treatment if one bites you. Conservation efforts are crucial to protect bats and their habitats. Organizations worldwide are working to educate people about the importance of bats, protect roosting sites, and monitor bat populations. Some communities are even building artificial bat houses to give bats a safe place to live, which can help control local insect populations naturally. Bats are remarkable animals with complex behaviors, vital ecological roles, and incredible adaptations. Whether they are navigating through the night sky with echolocation or pollinating tropical plants, bats contribute greatly to the health of our planet. By understanding and protecting bats, we not only help these amazing animals survive, but also preserve the balance of the ecosystems they support. Through continued conservation efforts and public awareness, we can ensure that bats remain an essential part of the natural world for generations to come.